So now we have our torches assembled and leak tested, and we have full oxygen and acetylene tanks to work with. So now we're going to light our torches. Step number one, important. There's no reason to have your torches sitting next to you as you braze. That's a potentially dangerous situation if you have a leak, and they give us nice long hoses, and so you want to set the torches out away from you where you're working and extend the hoses to where you are. That's just a good safety measure to always follow. So now I have the torch kit, the tanks about 6 foot away from me from my work area. I have my safety glasses on, I have my leather gloves on, and we are going to prepare to light our torches for the first time. So making sure that we are snug here, everything is off. So to light our torches, we do not want to just light with the acetylene. We want to have a little bit of a mixture of oxygen and acetylene when we go to light. And the reason that is I'll show you. So I'm going to light it one time with just the acetylene turned on. So I'm going to take my striker and put it, not shooting directly into it, kind of a little bit of an angle. So here's just acetylene. So you can see all that black smoke that comes off there. That gets into somebody's house, it gets on their walls, and that's no fun to clean up. And so we don't want that. And so we're going to, what I like to do to light my torches is I will turn the acetylene on until I can hear a little bit coming out. Then I'll do the same with the oxygen to where I've got a pretty good blend of, equal blend of oxygen, acetylene, and the same thing. And so when you're like there, we're already a good clean burn, no, kind of loud if you can still hear me, but no little black smoke coming out. So I'm gonna go ahead and light up again, and this time we're gonna make some adjustments to get to the proper flame. So again, I start with a little bit of acetylene until I can just barely hear it coming out. Do the same with oxygen. We'll take our striker, kind of point it away from us. So it was a much smaller flame that time, so it wasn't so loud. But right there is way too weak to do much of anything. If you'll see, I'm trying to keep from getting my finger in it, there's just a very sharp point there next to the burner, and then a little bit of a tail sticking out there. That is not a good flame. That's going to be not very hot. So to adjust, the first thing you always want to adjust is adjust your acetylene first. That's going to increase that inner flame. I'm hoping you can see that okay. So that's going to give us that second cone that's going to be way out there, and then we're going to adjust our oxygen slowly with that. And so that's what we're wanting for that flame, that reducing flame, neutral flame that they call that. And so that's going to be pretty good for some small copper, the liquid line usually, if we need to get more heat. So again, we're going to adjust our acetylene first to get that middle cone a little bigger, and then we can increase our oxygen, and that's going to be maybe a little more. I'm going to shut the oxygen down a little bit to lengthen that center cone there, and that's going to be a pretty good brazing flame right there. Okay, so as you practice, this is something that I want you to do over and over until it becomes natural and comfortable to you. And so we're going to light the torches multiple times, so we're just going to cover this a couple more times. So something we haven't talked about yet is that when we light our torches, we need to think about where our torch head is pointing. We don't want it to be pointed at something that is going to burn. It's the side of someone's house, the side of a unit, ourselves. We don't want that when it lights. It's going to shoot out a pretty good flame when it first ignites, and we don't want that to be pointed at something that will get damaged. And so think about where we're angling, and then again, we want to start with just enough acetylene to where we just hear it start to come out, and then we want to increase the oxygen to where we just barely hear that. And then we're going to take our Striker, make sure that we're not pointed at anything, and we're going to lock that up. That's pretty strong there. I'm going to back that off, and so we'll want to do this multiple times. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to back my oxygen down a little bit. I'm going to back my acetylene down a little bit. And we want to get rid of that hissing sound. So if you've got that hissing sound, that's usually an indication that you have too much of either oxygen or acetylene. So I want you to do this multiple times of starting and stopping your torches. So to get to the correct flame, we're going to start by increasing our acetylene and then increase our oxygen to get down to that neutral flame, reducing flame. We're going to do it again, so I'm going to go even higher. I'm going to increase my acetylene by turning it counterclockwise to open. And then I'm going to match that by increasing my oxygen. And each time I do that, we're getting a hotter flame. You can hear that starting to burn a little stronger each time that we do that. And that's a pretty good brazing flame. Now, too much oxygen, you're going to get that sharp burn, and you're going to hear a lot of rough burning there. That's an oxidizing flame. We don't want that. So I'm going to turn that oxygen back down a little bit by going clockwise on my oxygen and get a more smooth burn with those three flames. Our first inner flame is our hottest right there at the end of the tip. Then we've got the inner flame that we want to come out just a little bit, and then our long tail that's shooting out there. And again, we just need to be careful about what we're pointing at, that we're not going to, it just takes a split second of it going across your skin to leave a nasty, nasty burn. And so you don't want it to go across any part of your body, and you do not want it to hit something that's going to melt or leave a big old black char mark on somebody's wall. So as we are making adjustments, very important to make smooth, slow adjustments. So I'm just barely turning my acetylene, and I'm just slowly, barely turning my oxygen. If you do it too fast, it's gonna pop and flame out on you. And so smooth, slow, steady adjustments. Now, to stop, we're going to increase our oxygen just a little bit, get down toward that oxidizing flame, and we're going to turn off our acetylene. Should get a good, smooth, pop-free stop. And then, of course, we want to stop our oxygen so we're not having oxygen continue to flow.